quite an interesting topic. So this post originally came across my timeline thanks to Cellshade, who had shared the post, because I don't happen to follow this individual. But this came from Nasmer9 on X that I saw this. I'm all about, give all credit where credit's due when I find this sort of stuff. And he points, of course, to the YouTuber, but he says, YouTuber Blue Drake 42 has evidence that Tencent not only pays YouTubers to shill games, but sweetens the pot to, quote unquote, not mention Tencent directly and hide that it's a paid sponsorship. This should 100% be the next Stop Killing Games movement, but YouTubers won't bring it to attention. I wouldn't say a Stop Killing Games. I mean, maybe to the level that it's actually getting success for Stop Killing Games. Definitely falls under the old, for anybody that remembers the old Gamergate days, this was the sort of stuff that was the game journalists were in cahoots with and doing and hiding things and not disclosing their little clubs and stuff like that, not disclosing all their information and everything. So what he links to is the post. Okay, so Connor Blue Drake 42 Hill here had posted, this was 2 weeks ago, so we're, like I said, I was considering it, and I was just like, I wasn't sure if I really wanted to dive into this is what for information that I had, but here we go. So Tencent offered me a sponsorship recently, which I turned down. However, while they were trying to sponsor me, they accidentally showed proof that they buy views for videos promoting their games and also buy comments faking positive reviews. I always suspected that they did this, but to have hard proof of this is hard proof of this now is wild. They also constantly tried to bribe me to remove any mention that they were paying for me to promote Tencent because they wanted the video to appear organic, which is obviously illegal. The company that originally reached out never even told me that the contract was for Tencent, but I found out when they kept telling me to change everything in the video to talk about how great Tencent is. So some of that Chinese push there. So that's when I started digging. Tencent is using shell companies registered in America to pose as an American company. And this is where, Tencent, as for people that have been kind of following along with some of this stuff, they've bought in stocks and shares in companies like Epic Games, the producers of the Unreal Engine. And that's why a lot of people are very standoff with Epic Games and their launcher and stuff like that. But I mean, I say take their free games if they're going to give them to you. But I understand why people are like, hell no, I won't go. I also have, I don't know where Razer falls for gaming peripherals and accessories, where they fall, but I remember seeing that they have a thing with Tencent a while back because Mark Kern went on his little crusade against Tencent. And I remember looking, he was on his Ember page that they had the Razer gaming product stuff as a whatever kind of brand deal or something like that, but it was on that page. And I tried saying on X a long time ago on one of my old accounts, like, hey dude, you're trying to make all this noise and yet here you are with a company that is allied with Tencent. And I got pushback from, I think, his fan base, and I was like, all right, what the fuck ever, dude. That was kind of my early day. That was before like the whole Ember situation blew up and realized just how full of shit that all was. But yeah, so that was certainly one of my early days of just like, all right, dude, whatever. Anyways, but you only get paid if you say good things about Tencent, but you're not allowed to say that you're being paid to say good things about Tencent. Like this post, if you think I should do a video about it, hopefully I don't get assassinated for posting this. So here's okay, so this looks like a DM post or something like that. actually about this. The client is asking if it's possible for you to talk about the products themselves without mentioning the word Tencent at all. We want the focus to remain on the technology and the tools. Since this is a specific request to remove the brand name throughout the narration, please let us know if there would be any additional cost for this. We are willing to cover the extra fee to ensure the voiceover perfectly aligns with this new requirement. And then he replies, okay, I'm done. Cheers. Let me know if you want me to publish the existing version of the video. Otherwise, I won't be finishing the contract. That is the only remaining thing that I am willing to do at this point. Please, these constant requests to violate United States law are extremely inappropriate, and I'm at the point where I don't feel comfortable working with your agency. I'm sorry that we were unable to make this work. And I mean, kudos to this guy for putting his foot down and not, not gobbling up the funds on that one, because some people would just kind of, all right, yeah, I'm getting paid how much? Sure. And there is extra, he does drop some extra things here. Seems this post was deleted by the post author, but this is all in Nasmer's thread here, because Connor here did reply, oh no, it was both. This was an event promoting how AI development tools are being used to make Delta Force. Oh, okay, so that's for Delta Force. So it was absolutely both. Here's a snippet of a script they sent me. This is exactly what they want people they pay to say with no disclosure. And then let me go over to the image. Tencent Games has particularly mature implementations in this area, and the AI teammate system they built for Game for Peace is a perfect example. The AI teammates in this are no longer simple tools that just execute commands. They are companions that genuinely understand a player's intent and engage in deep interaction. I swear, sometimes this idea of AI and stuff is getting really bizarre and really creepy and weird. And like, it's fun for memes and images and stuff like that, like, fine. But with implementations like this in the games, I don't know, it starts getting into some weird territories. Because I mean, it used to just be like, I mean, if you want like some, and not like AI in this probably regards, but like old just enemy AI, the way they would interact, like what some of the best is the original Doom, like the way they coded it and made it work, and just the way the enemies react to you in that game is insane. There's some crazy good breakdowns out there that you can find of all of that stuff. They not only accurately execute tactical commands, but also respond instantly to player speech throughout the match with complex dialogue, offering reminders when the player is in trouble or expressing congratulations when they win. This kind of warm interaction provides solo players with a genuine sense of companionship, making the game experience much more vibrant. The second direction is game worlds that dynamically respond to player actions. For a long time, environments in many open world games have been procedurally generated but static. For instance, in No Man's Sky, no matter what the player does on a planet, the environment and NPC behavior don't fundamentally change. The static setup can inevitably lead to player fatigue and reduce immersion. AI technology is changing this, making game worlds more alive and interactive. So this is the thing, like I see AI in a couple of different ways. Like I see it as a tool. Like it can be a useful tool for certain things. At the same time, when you use some of these AI things, they just show kind of how stupid they are, and that you even have to remind them of particular details of what you're like, even like conversing with them on, and remind them of even previous statements that have already been made within that. And this is probably why they're trying to like load up all these different data centers and everything. But when it comes to using it for things like that, this is where it gets a little, this is part of that weirdness, because in this, and also it does where I see people are like, it's taking away like the human component. But I mean, I would go with that if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, even the human side of writing and story building hasn't become just so in of itself propagandized and just, you know, boilerplate level, layers, levels of interaction of just basic stuff. Like it is, worlds just don't, and like it is, not a lot of worlds feel like worlds anymore. They are just like set pieces instead of a fleshed out world. Like I would say, the original Deus Ex is a good example of a fleshed out world. Yeah, you got repeating conversations, but just the way things take place as you go through certain areas makes it feel more alive and like a world than some of the current games today. And now it's just trying to like, it'll give a basic probably prompt for the AI NPC characters to then just kind of get a general basis off of, and then what's being created, it'll kind of create maybe a unique player experience for the way you interact with those NPCs and stuff like that, the non-player characters, but it's not giving that world its own fleshed out thing. Because I'm sure people will mess with them and bug them out to holy hell and back, and that'll probably be at least the hilarious part. But how well will even those NPCs stay on a technical guidelines of a script? If they get better, sure, but I mean, it just seems to take away the idea of human creation on that side, which is why I can understand people really just completely at odds with the whole AI thing, the whole AI conversation. So it's such a tough thing to really go into, and I'm no expert on any of this stuff. I'm just a shit talker online, that's all. With AI, developers can create more emergent and dynamic game systems, allowing the entire game universe to change based on player actions. For example, if a player cuts down trees, the surrounding vegetation gradually recovers. I mean, that's already something that is in games as it is. I mean, that's something that's coded in from games like, Stardew Valley to Harvest Moon and stuff like that. You build and plant and cut down. And I mean, even a lot of the survival games, that's still kind of the thing. I don't think you really deforest a whole lot of places, at least from what I've played for some of the, like Ark and stuff like that. But yeah. If players help NPCs complete a task, that NPC's subsequent behavior and dialogue will change accordingly. See, that's where the human side can come in, creating interesting and unique dialogue, if they have that ability to create interesting and unique dialogue, I guess. Tencent Games is actively exploring this direction as well, currently testing AI-driven world-building tools in popular games like Game for Peace and Delta Force. By using AI to optimize the dynamic response of game environments, they aim to create a more immersive experience, making players truly feel like participants in the game world, not just observers. The third direction is the dual revolution in visuals performing driven by AI. Currently, there's ongoing debate surrounding the DLSS 5. Some people love some moon runes there, extreme visual experience it offers, while others have reservations about its visual style, but it's undeniable that DLSS 5 represents a visual style that is impossible in electronic games before it leverages AI. So this is, like you said, this is a script that they send people as part of what the people should be reading off what they're saying. And yeah, it is actively trying to promote them. He does have another thing here. Just a moment. Let me get that. So this was, okay. Let me just make sure I've got this next image set to go here. Again, sorry for not being as prepared as I should have been for all this. But this was another little kind of, there's a back and forth here that I thought was still a little interesting just to kind of make a point of. This damaged sector comes in. Wait, they wanted him to change everything in the video to talk about how great Tencent is, but also talk about the products, but not mention Tencent at all. Nasmer replies with how great the product video game was without any mention of the publisher or sponsorship. Damage Sector then also furthers it with, is it two separate video requests? One about how great Tencent is, and one about a product, but he can't mention Tencent. Nasmer replies, I believe it's asking him to make a sponsored video about a Tencent product, but not to mention that. A, it's a product by Tencent. B, it's sponsored. Just to glaze the product itself. Therefore, in other words, so I only kind of know some Zoomer speak. Glazed is more of like, you know, just promote, put them over sort of thing. Therefore, paying to promote Tencent without mentioning Tencent. He says, but that contradicts this part. And he says that I found out it kept telling me to change everything in the video to talk about how great Tencent is. And he said, Nasma replies, I'm pretty sure that's just a mistake when he was paragraph typing and he meant how great the product is, because the DM screenshot provided clears that up in context. Damage Sector replies, I'm guessing it was two different requests from different companies. If it's not a mistake, he does say shell companies, plural, and the original company in reference to wanting Tencent praised in the video versus the other messages where they don't want them mentioned. And he'll find out, and then that's where Connor Hill does come in, saying very specifically they wanted me to say good things about Tencent, like literally Tencent the company. Yes, also good things about products Tencent makes, but they were also explicitly directing me to promote Tencent specifically. Then they wanted me to remove the disclosure, and that's where then this image comes in. So he has highlighted, update the core message of this section to align with the text highlighted in yellow. Oh, so that must have been, but I'll read it from so 5. Next, move into dynamic and reactive experiences, contrast tools that generate content with systems that respond to player behavior. Highlight the shift from scripted experiences to more adaptive systems while keeping expectations realistic. This is evolution, not full autonomy. So here now, might be kind of tough to see too with the yellow highlight there. Second, the shift from rules to contracts, quote unquote, a fundamental reconstruction of fairness. The core idea here is how AI moves multiplayer fairness from post-incident maintenance to preemptive defaults. We've moved beyond just bans and reports. Now AI identifies anomalies in milliseconds and intervenes invisibly, dissolving malice before players even perceive it. So some weird predictive sort of shit. Players only need to focus on how to win the match rather than worrying about, is the opponent cheating? This guarded sense of security requires a deep understanding of player behavior and systemic insights into the gaming ecosystem. When looking at the sessions across all 6 dimensions, okay, most giants focus on specific niches. NVIDIA dives deep into neural graphics. Google Cloud explores living games. Krafton partners with NVIDIA for AI teammates. However, one developer appeared in nearly every single dimension. I don't know why, just this referring to it as dimensions, including this most hidden yet critical safety layer. Tencent accounted for over 20% of AI-related sessions at GDC this year. But more impressive than the quantity is the distribution. They aren't repeating themselves. They are completing a master puzzle. While others seek a single point breakthroughs, Tencent is already thinking about how AI can systemically reshape every aspect of the player's experience. They've already deployed AI applications across over 40 game titles, covering everything from character behavior to live operations. As a Google spokesperson noted during a forum, as a leader in the Chinese market, Tencent has announced AI applications in over 40 games, and that scale is clearly expanding. I believe they are pointing the way forward for the entire industry on how AI should be applied. This isn't just praise for a single technology, it's an endorsement of a systemic exploration. And this is some of the stuff that, you know, I had already seen from being posted from this gentleman. It's wild. And again, yeah, like even, I mean, Nasmer pointed out how you aren't seeing too many YouTubers jump into this and talk about it. It's like I said, this was the sort of stuff that, you know, back in 2014, 15, part of 16 and stuff, what people, you know, pushing for Gamergate were trying to point out in the industry that it is this, you know, not getting that whole lot of additional attention. Like I do see some people in here that I recognize. So we have Vex Electronica, Melee K of Melee Games, and I'm sure now that they're going to be returning with their Melee Madness podcast, I'm willing to bet they'll deep dive into this. And also Savvy here, she's known for kind of diving into a lot of these sort of things. Hopefully she's done more. Like it is, I haven't quite kept up on all of it just because there's been so much there's just been kind of, you know, real life gets kind of crazy sometimes. But like I said, this was definitely like one of those things that was the hot button issue for what a lot of people, a lot of us were talking about and trying to point out with just the regular game industry side, just not the big corporations, something like a Tencent, but you know, just the news outlets, you know, the Kotakus, the IGNs and everything like that. I mean, it was all being pointed out just how goofed this all was. And it's just wild that, you know, I can't say that I've even seen, I don't even think I've seen like Niche Gamer pick this up, and they were kind of one of the news sources that came out amongst a lot of the Gamergate stuff. Yeah, the last thing that they have is 3 months ago, Trump admin debates forcing Tencent to abandon Western game investments. That's all I'm seeing there on their side. Let me check out old Tech Raptor. It's been a long time, but I also know that they kind of turned more into a shitheel. Basically your basic bitch game news reporting place shortly after some of the Gamergate events. Okay, yeah, anything from them was 2025 of December. Sony and Tencent reached settlement over Horizon-esque Light of Motoram, so nothing there either. So that's, you know, that's also just kind of the whole like disappointing aspect of some of this. Let me see too if there's anything else from Connor on his page, if he mentions anything else. I'm not seeing anything else, at least on his X page. And like it was, I looked at his YouTube and I didn't see any videos there either. Just more, he's just talking about AI tools and stuff like that, because he's also developing. He's the founder of Revolt GPT.dev and Operation Harsh Doorstep, Master of Science in Data and Machines Learning. It looks like he's creating AI software in games. So that's a lot of the videos, more of what's being talked about there. And his most recent video was 3 days ago. This is the next big thing in the making. It looks like for some of the AI tools, I think in some of these first-person shooters. He even has one for Unreal 5. Asset is basically a full game. So it doesn't look like he's taken to this. But all I can say is, you know, be wary. You know, it's always the thing, is gotta be more and more aware of what's going on in the industry. I won't ever say I'm a perfect individual on trying to keep up. I sometimes, you know, I lose sight of what's going on, and that's how I sometimes get into a Marvel Rivals situation. but yeah, you know, it's the shitty thing that we really have to get really like autistically diving into so much of this stuff, the background of everything. So he does say here, by the way, the other thing I've been highly suspicious of is them buying Steam reviews and botting SteamDB player numbers. After this, I'm now almost certain that they do that too. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm very interested in talking to anyone who else has had similar experiences or has evidence of this. I know they're paying off a huge number of other creators because I saw the list of people that they are paying. Reach out to me if you do. Yeah, I didn't expect anything else from a Chinese company. I mean, like I said, this was definitely, it's just I think just because of so many stupid social yeah, some of them has been stupid social movements and stuff like that, hashtag movements and everything like that. People have gotten exhausted. People are tired of this sort of shit. So it's how easy like some of this can go now to the wayside, except for something like Stop Killing Games, which has kept momentum. And I think that's in part because of Ross Scott of Accursed Farms. He's been like he has been the figurehead push for that for I mean, almost a decade before it even got more media attention, because he did it with his reviews going back to but yeah, through Ross's Game Dungeon reviews and stuff, he's talked about this for a long time, because he first initially like started a whole email campaign to EA over the game when it got shut down and everything, because he also documented people's reactions to it. Battleforge, that was it, Battleforge. So, you know, I think that's been the benefit. He's been kind of the figurehead for that, and he's genuinely wanting to get certain things done. So he has much more of that ambition for it. And a lot of these the hashtag movements and stuff like that didn't have the same sort of thing going on. And it always devolved into shysters and grifters and stuff like that taking over and derailing the central message and turning it into pure nonsense. And it's sad, because it's happened so many times that I've seen. But yeah, that's the you know, and remember, for Tencent, that's one aspect of all of this. We and yeah, if you're feeling up to it, go check out the dude's channel, Connor Hill. Check out his YouTube channel there that I also showed. Because yeah, that's pretty wild. Some wild stuff that at least we got. It's like getting confirmation on is the best part. So
thank you for watching this clip from Respawn Roast Cantina. Please like and subscribe if you like what you see, and check out the full episode.